Welcome to Future World's Dragon's Den 2020. My name's Ben Clark and I'm the Director of Future Worlds. We are the on-campus startup accelerator here at the University of Southampton. We exist to help the brilliantly talented, aspiring founders here at the university to change the world with their ideas. Future World's Dragon's Den has been going for a few years now. It typically happens live, on stage, in person, in the Cube here on campus at the University of Southampton. Over the last few years, our Dragon investors have offered more than £500,000 of investment to student startups pitching to them at the event. But this year is the year that everything has gone remote, everything is online only. And so this is the first year where we have gone online only for the Dragon's Den. So instead of an in-person event in front of hundreds of people in the audience, this has been a video call that we have pre-recorded in advance. Last year, I couldn't even be trusted to turn my microphone on, so the team certainly wouldn't trust me with trying to do all of this with multiple founders scattered across Europe, investors scattered across Europe, trying to bring it all together and broadcasting it live to hundreds or thousands of people online, all at the same time. So we pre-recorded this in advance, but all of the interaction was happening live as we were doing it. So, the big question that everyone has had, I've been asked lots of times in the run-up to Dragon's Den, will it be possible for investors to make those kind of investment decisions over a video call when they can't actually meet the founders face to face? It's a really big question. Will we be able to see any offers? Will we be able to see any deals done this year in the Den? It's a really big question. So we're just gonna have to see how that shapes up over the 4 episodes that we've got this week. So this is the first of 4 episodes. We're gonna see Stardust pitch this evening, and then Tuesday and Wednesday, 2 more startups, and then finally 1 more startup on Thursday evening. So make sure you join us every evening to see all 6 startups pitch. But before we get started this evening, let's meet who the dragons are that have come down to invest. We've got 4 dragons this evening. It's going to be Andy Doe. He was the founder of confetti.co.uk, one of the early internet pioneers in e-commerce here in the UK. We've got Chris Broad. He was a director of Apple, one of the most wildly successful companies in the world. And then James Vernon, he co-founded Brevan Howard, which quickly became one of the largest hedge funds in the world. And then Sonia Lamy, a very successful fund manager in London and a frequent angel investor as well. So those are the 4 dragons that are going to be making those decisions. But I mentioned the challenges of doing that online. And it all comes down to what is it that the dragons are going to be able to use to make the decisions that they need to make. And what is it that they're looking for in the founders. So before we got started, we had a bit of a chance to catch up with the dragons and find out what they were thinking. So let's hear from the dragons now.
Well, I'm passionate about helping young entrepreneurs.
So you're really buying into the people, and do we believe that if we support this person, do we feel that this person could grow into the position?
And at the end of the day, the entrepreneur has to think beyond, oh, I've got this great idea. I've got this great idea and it could be this great business, right? Because not all ideas turn out to be great businesses.
So I think the sort of hustle attitude is essential.
It certainly is down to sort of the charisma, the drive, the belief.
I mean, it's hard to be an entrepreneur. It's hard to grow a business, hard to start a business and grow a business. And trying to cut through, I think, is one of the most difficult things.
We want people who are 110% focused, 10 hours a day, 7 days a week.
You've got to be able to sell your idea. You've got to sort of punch above your weight. You've just got to find a way to. You've got to be almost fearless in your dealings with partners, with clients, with whoever it is that you need to do deals with to be able to grow your business.
That personality that just has a can-do attitude, hopefully a smile on their face, because you'd hope they enjoy what they're doing. But that links probably with being passionate about it, because you can see if someone enjoys it.
So obviously last year was my first time. It's a fantastic experience, privileged to be involved. There's definitely certain amounts of respect, to the people who are presenting, and just love the energy and just the participation of the whole thing.
The interesting thing for me is going to be seeing how we make this work online today.
You build this kind of relationship with these people, so that's not so easy in these circumstances.
And you don't get that proper feedback loop in terms of if people are nodding or smiling, which I think can be quite challenging if it's all virtual, because it's almost like it's more one way, and you don't really get that feedback.
It's going to be more difficult, isn't it? It's going to be more difficult for us to assess. So all of that's going to make it a bit more challenging, I think. But we will we'll do our best. This is the new reality.
There's an argument actually that we might be in a position to make slightly better investment decisions and be a little bit less emotive, especially as we don't have all the fantastic music and the drum rolls and everything else going on in the background.
Again, as Andy says, if this is the new world, you just have to make it work.
So I think it's going to be pretty fine.
I'm very happy, and I'm sure it's going to be great.
And so finally, the waiting is over for another year. It's that time, it's what we have all been looking forward to. Let's go to our first startup. So welcome to the Future World's Dragon's Den 2020 virtual stage to Till and Andrius with their startup, Stardust.
Hi, I'm Till. With me here is Andrius, and we are building Stardust. You know how your personal data is scattered around the internet, and because of that, your email inbox gets flooded with junk emails every day. Stardust is here to give you control and overview over your data, so you are protected from unnecessary spam and unconsented use of your data. It turns out that only in the first half of 2019, 4.1 billion user records were breached from large tech companies. So it doesn't come as a surprise that 84% of people care about data privacy and want more control over how their data is used. That's why we are building Stardust, a peer-to-peer platform which enables data transfer directly from users to companies, while giving users the full control of who they want to share the data with, for how long, and for what purpose. So far, we have developed an iOS app which includes, the iOS app is for users, and then we've got an API and a web interface for companies. So when users open the app at the first time, they get a full overview of their personal data in a wallet. They can share any data point with a partner company or remove the consent of sharing the data, just with one tap. And on top of that, there is an overview to see where the data has been shared, either graphically or in a list. This helps users to fully appreciate the extent of where their data has been shared. One way to get control and overview is by generating decoy email addresses. Those email addresses are connected to your personal email address. And by adding a description, you get a full overview of where you're receiving emails from. So for example, I can see all the newsletters that I've signed up to. And if I don't want to receive the emails anymore, I can just opt out, also with one tap. In our MVP, users are incentivized to share data for benefits offered by companies. So for example, we are a company on our own platform as well, and as part of our launch week, we are offering an entry into a giveaway in return for an email address and a birthday. Other companies are providing a benefit by offering a discount for their products or services in return for different data. How the data is used is strictly defined in the How is my data used section here. The whole idea is that the data is shared for one reason only. Now, partner companies can use the graphical business interface or the API to directly receive the email or the data that's been shared with them. This data includes demographic data and contact data, but in the near future could also include interest data, location data, payment history, or even medical records. The insights that those companies can receive from the data can help them know their customers better and have more focused marketing strategies, and therefore increasing their revenues.
We launched the app that you saw on the slides earlier this week in Estonia, which is our test market, as it has a digitally savvy society while also being reachably small. And the first feedback has been amazing. Within the first 4 days, we went from being 170th to the top 7 app in lifestyle category on the App Store. And in the overall ranking, we even surpassed apps like Amazon, Slack, LinkedIn, and many more big names. And our users are really active. Over 50% of them share data with us to get the entrance to the giveaway. And furthermore, 90% of them additionally share data that we didn't even require from them, clearly showing that, or clearly proving that the users want access to a frictionless data handling platform just like ours. Also, what you saw from Til's demo, we have 3 companies offering benefits on our platform. And furthermore, we have 2 more partnerships currently in our pipeline. And all of this we've done only in the past 3 months. This shows that, we are a fast-moving and like-minded team, which is partly thanks to us building a startup together previously. Stardust is a platform for the global market. By 2022, our main market, the global data protection market, is projected to reach over $120 billion US, currently growing at 16% every year. Furthermore, complementing markets such as big data as a service are growing even faster at 30% annually, showing the size of the growth in this area. There are many ways for us to earn money from this platform. In the current version, the clearest path is to charge commission on every sale done using a discount code from our platform. But in the near future, moving from a marketing platform more to a data handling platform, we will charge the companies based on the on-demand use of their users' data. In terms of the competition, there are many data wallets out there. However, what they are really missing here is incentivizing the users to come back to the app on a daily basis, which we believe is the key to accelerate data wallets into mainstream use. So, our secret sauce of this project is hidden in timing. Data privacy and control over personal data is very much a current issue, as our numbers show. And as we've launched in our test market, and we have good traction from there, we want to keep the momentum going to accelerate, to apply to accelerators such as Y Combinator or Techstars. Also, use our test market data to quickly expand to other markets, like for example, Finland or Sweden. For that, we are looking to raise £30,000 for 5% equity for a 12-month runway. That money will be used to hire 1 software developer to improve our infrastructure, to make the data sharing as secure and as unbreakable as possible, because this is a key factor of our reputation. Also, for legal services to set out legal documents for both the users and the partners, and advice on regulations and regulatory zones, such as the GDPR in Europe. There are 3.4 billion internet users who care about their data privacy and want more control over their data. All of them are waiting for you to invest into our venture.
Thank you, Till and Andrius. It's a great pitch. If we were all together, there'll be a huge round of applause. So we've done a slightly artificial alternative, but that was fantastic. So over to you, Dragons, for your questions.
So thank you very much for your presentation. And I did download the app, and it looks really nice and elegant. And so well done for that. I'm wondering, how do you propose to acquire both customers and partners, and how much do you think that's going to cost you?
Potentially having one partnership with one telco could bring their whole user base, which in Estonian terms could be up to 500,000 people, in Scandinavian terms even more. So I think this would be like a strong first step to that.
So, but what would that partnership look like?
We've already talked with one big telco in Estonia, and to kind of get the insights of what is their mindset. They are willing to experiment with projects such as ours.
And you mentioned you'd done a startup together before. Could you tell us about that as well, please?
How Andrius and IMAC is doing a hackathon, which this hackathon actually started the startup that we were doing previously before. And this startup was called Arwin, and it was a water tester that combines spectroscopy and artificial intelligence to monitor water quality in households.
There's sort of 2 audiences that you need to get to take action. One is your users need to download the app, fill in the data, and opt into various companies by sharing data. And the other side, which I suspect might be, well, it is chicken and egg because you need the one to make the other one work. But then you need companies to sign up. And I guess, how do you see that happening?
Yes, so to start this cycle, exactly like you said, the chicken and egg cycle, this is why we are very much focusing on the users first. We're focusing on, we build the email features that they can use without us having like any appealing companies, or in fact any companies at all on our platform. You know, as soon as we see considerable amount of users, we will push for some more companies for discounts, which then will amount to more users. But then the next step from there is to move into like a broader range of data usage through our app.
But the trouble with data is it's really boring. Like, nobody wants to manage their data. Discount codes, they're really boring. So I'm really quite skeptical that you'll have any chance of getting your users back on a daily basis.
What we're imagining here is for this email feature specifically, this could be an extension for a browser. So whenever you see a field where you need to sign up, it just fills out automatically that for you. And this could not only be done with email addresses, but with all different kinds of data, really providing value to users.
If I can just carry on, so I still don't really have a clear picture of how your products would be used. So what are the stages of the process? How do you envisage it being used?
We envision our app to come into play as soon as whatever company where you're ordering the product from, so let's say you're ordering this from Amazon, our vision is that as soon as Amazon requires your, let's say, payment details or your delivery address, something like that, then this comes through our platform.
Can I create a decoy email address through your app today? And you know, if so, why would that be better than just sort of setting up a separate Gmail account if I was very worried about, you know, for example, doing business with an e-commerce merchant, a new e-commerce merchant?
So for the first part of your question, yes, you can create decoy email addresses in our app. And then the second part is the reason why it makes sense to do that is because you will have basically a separate email address for every sign up that you use online. And then you have the full overview of all the different places that you sign up. And what you're able to do is you can toggle out separate ones. So you can say, I don't want to receive this specific newsletter anymore, but I want to receive another one still. I still want to receive that other one. And now, in case what you said, oh, just create a different Gmail account, then you would need to create the number of Gmail accounts that you sign up to places. And usually people sign up to quite a lot of places online. So that wouldn't be quite a good solution then.
Is there then an easy way of transferring, can I log in effectively to a website as well to get to Stardust, to get to those decoy emails?
This is also why we're looking for this funding, is to better build a stronger infrastructure, because what that would enable us, it would enable our platform to become cross-platform. So then you can sign in and you can use the same features as you're on your phone, you could use it on your web platform.
One of the benefits potentially for the companies that you're dealing with is that maybe they don't actually have to hold any data. So could you not go to a company and sort of say, we will do your, you will never have to hold any data again?
Yeah, I think this is one option that we're definitely considering as well, and also from our meetings or talks with companies, this is what they also propose quite a lot as well, because what they effectively want is they want to increase the revenue or their sales and basically get maybe like insights for their customers, but they don't want to do those insights maybe themselves, but they want to get them from us.
So you've seen all the questions that the Dragons asked, the kind of answers that the founders gave. The Dragons got a bit of a chance to talk amongst themselves, but now really it's time to get to the business end of this discussion. What are the Dragons thinking?
I think everybody is impressed with the thinking behind your product and the execution so far. And I think that we are very skeptical about your ability to get to the end goal that you believe is there. But we're pretty sure there's something there. We'd like to propose that we revisit the investment decision in about 3 months' time. And in between, I seem to have been nominated as somebody who will work with you and also orchestrate the skills that we have around the table to help you get your product, your idea to a better, and let's say in our eyes perhaps a more investable situation. And we're very, very keen on the two gentlemen concerned, or as James said, the likely lads. I think that was your little...
Yeah, but I did warn Chris that I'd have a slight curveball, which I would like to introduce at this time now. So we've all heard the analogy of the jockey and the horse. My view is, at the moment, you guys, you're on a dead horse. So I don't have any faith that what you're doing at the moment is going to work. However, I just love the jockeys. I think you two guys have covered a lot of ground in a very short amount of time. You're obviously clued up, you're working hard, you consume a lot of information, and I think that working together, you could come up, find a different horse, or a slightly different horse, or a different coloured horse perhaps, and come up with a better idea. But I think, for a 3-month project to come up with something which is, £500,000-600,000 valuation, that's a bit of a tall story. But I'm prepared to put some money on the line with you. So I'm prepared to offer you 5k to help you further your project ideas, but not at a 600k valuation. That'd be more like a 100k valuation.
Interesting. Thank you very much for the input. I was just kind of curious, is there like a quantifiable way of those 3 months, or what are kind of like the expectations from the Dragons after the 3 months, or kind of what will be measured in that sense?
Yeah, getting together in 3 months' time and convincing us again around a revised project that is something that we would all like to feel comfortable in investing in.
If we work together over the next 3 months, maybe a way of refining the idea, or coming up with a different idea, maybe in this space or something adjacent to this space, which has got a better chance of giving you the opportunity to build a business that you and compete with these really big guys.
I think you guys are very impressive. I love the energy. I love the t-shirts. I love the detail in the demo you put on by sort of touching on all the dragons or something that's sort of relevant to us. Clearly, the group's view is like we really like you two. So the option is really either we can give you money today, and I can give you the same that James gives you at that valuation, or you wait 3 months, and if you have a bigger product, if you've done the right progress, you can get a higher valuation.
Thank you very much. The offers are very clear, very interesting to hear the inputs. I think the $100,000 valuation is not appealing to us, so we're not going to take that option. So I think in that case, we're going to stay in contact over the course of the next 3 months.
Wow, fantastic. There'll be huge applause rolling around the cube right now. What a great pitch and really interesting negotiations. And in the end, Till and Andrius have decided to walk away from our £100,000 offer that was there from James and Sonia. So there we have it. The first pitch is through, and now we're going to take the chance to go over to Grace to have a little bit of a conversation with Till and Andrius. Let's hear from them now.
So Till and Andrius, you were just offered some money by the Dragons, but you walked away. Can you talk us through what happened?
It was quite an interesting situation. The Dragons made quite an interesting offer. They proposed whether to take money at quite a low valuation, or wait 3 months, keep in contact with them, and then have another reconsideration after those 3 months. And because we discussed with Till quite a lot earlier before the event, of what is our expectations out of it, I think we were quite comfortable declining the offer that the Dragons made. We are very firm believers in what we are building, so we're definitely going with the option of going full speed for the next 3 months and seeing where we are after it.
Were you tempted at any point to take the money from the Dragons, or did you always know that you weren't going to move on your valuation?
I think we were both pretty clear already before what are the boundaries of where we want to go, and if we look at our vision going really global and also applying to Y Combinator or Techstars, this is just not an offer that we can really take and then justify going to those accelerators.
So at one point you were told that you were the likely lads, that you were good jockeys on possibly a dead horse. How did that feel?
I think this really shows how different people have different opinions. This is something that we, as the founders of the startup, definitely do not agree with, but it's a respectable answer from somebody from a third point perspective.
And to those students watching this who've just seen you pitch, seen you walk away from that offer, who maybe have got their own idea for a startup, what would you say to them?
Is that the most important thing is to validate your idea after you get it, right? Would it be through prototyping or just talking about it or somehow getting it out to people that are not you and your friends? And I think this is a very important first step. Once you have gone through that, you have the confidence within yourself as well to further progress with the project if the results have been good.
So there we go, that brings us to the end of our first episode of this year's Future World's Dragon's Den 2020. We've seen Stardust pitch, and that is the first time, certainly, that I can remember. This is second year undergraduate students. They've pitched a startup. They've been offered £10,000 investment from James and Sonia at a £100,000 valuation on their business. But they've decided to walk away from that because they're so confident about the direction that they want to take it in and where they want to go, and they've decided that's not the right deal for them. Well, it's just brilliant drama. Great to see that kind of conviction from startup founders in the den. Let's see what the rest of the week has got to hold. We've got 5 more startups that are going to be pitching through the next 3 evenings. Can they live up to that kind of promise? We had these big questions. Would the Dragons be ready and willing to make investment offers when they couldn't meet the founders directly, when it wasn't in person? Well, certainly this evening has dispelled the question of whether they would make offers. We're yet to see whether there could be any deals done in the den this year. So come back tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock, same time, same place. If you just stumbled across us online, then go to futureworlds.com. You can find all of the details there. You can sign up. We'll give you joining instructions to make sure you're registered for the next 3 evenings. But make sure you come back and see the next few startups that are going to be pitching on the Future World Dragon's Den 2020 virtual stage.
How am I going to make money out of that investment?
I love the idea, I love the concept.
We are very skeptical about your ability.
I was featured in a music video with Jay-Z and Pharrell Williams.
All of them are waiting for you.
Yeah, it's also a great opportunity for you guys.